Most of you know I am Jess Campbell. I run a lot of these Fireside Chats, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our Fireside Chat sponsors for their generous support, VCA and Zoetis. And also to remind everyone that if you have not yet registered for the conference, head on over to our website, check that out. Like I said, we're going to get started. I don't like to talk for long, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Dr. Jill Lopez, who is the CEO and founder of Vet Candy LLC.
Okay.
Jill?
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to meet you tonight. I actually used to be a technician instructor a very long time ago. I was a friend of mine had recommended me to work with Penn Foster when it was like it was very shocking that there was online education at that time. It's funny how far we've came since then. And I remember I was teaching classes and we had webinars, but we didn't even talk. We would type. And I mean, it was fun. It was really fun. I taught pharmacology, and I think I also taught anatomy, which is amazing because I really am not that good at anatomy. But if you have the right instructor or you have the right textbook, you're good. Oh, Julie Legrett, I see you there. So I have had that experience where you're in that teaching situation, and I've always enjoyed teaching and speaking to people, and that's some of the reasons why I created Vet Candy. But my career path is a little strange than most veterinarians. I did work a few years in Tennessee and West Virginia in practices and small animal practices. But then I went more into the animal health industry. I first worked at the ASPCA at the Poison Control Center. And later I moved from there to the East Coast, and I was working at Hart's. And later I went to Merck Animal Health. So I've had a non-traditional type of career. And I left Merck in 2018, and my plans were to start something new for the veterinary profession. Being in the veterinary profession, I was very shocked whenever the 2017, the AVMA Wellbeing Survey came out. And the Wellbeing Survey told us that we weren't happy. And I thought I was happy, but it wasn't me. When you look at the survey, it wasn't older veterinarians or anything. It was actually more of the veterinarians that were recent graduates. So they were looking at the veterinarians were the most unhappy with the profession were younger. They were recent graduates. Just recently, they repeated the survey. They found that people are even less happy than they were before and having more issues. And they actually interviewed and surveyed the veterinary technicians and the support staff too. So this trend is, sadly, this trend is continuing. And there's a lot of people that are just, not really happy with their profession, that are suffering a lot of mental health issues. And it really made me sad when I heard this. And there's also been a lot of changes in the veterinary profession in the last few years too. Veterinary technicians, of course, have always predominantly been women. But now veterinarians are predominantly women. Initially, it was a man's profession or a male profession. There's even if you guys like old movies, there's an old movie with Doris Day, and it's called Don't Eat the Daisies. And in it, she moves to Connecticut with her family, and this veterinarian comes in, and the kids are like, "Are you a man?" Because they were so shocked it was a female veterinarian. So that was even, I don't even know when that was made. It was like even made in the 70s. So it used to be really weird if you saw a female veterinarian. And now you're more likely to see a female veterinarian, especially in if you're looking at the small animal practice. And again, the support staff, the support team, the veterinary technicians, it's already a female dominated profession. So we have had a huge gender shift. We have a lot of females that are in the profession, And another thing that makes me sad, not only are we very sad as a group and we're not very happy, we also see that even though women outnumber men in our profession, males are in management. You don't see a lot of females in management. You'll see a lot of males in management. So if you look at the pharmaceutical industry, if you look at the leaders of the pharmaceutical industry, other than Zoetis, one of the sponsors for tonight, where you have Kristen Peck, who is a female CEO, you will see a lot of males that are in the management team. You see it in the corporate practices too. You'll see a lot of males at the top, and you see a lot of women below that. So that's another reason why I wanted to create Vet Candy. So I created Vet Candy to help people. I wanted to make the next generation of veterinarians and veterinary technicians, I wanted to make their life easier. I wanted them to be able to go someplace and get the education they needed to. I wanted them to be able to have access to like the latest clinical updates and not have to read a really boring long journal article. So that was one of the things I thought was very important for me. And I also realized, we're not just veterinarians or veterinary technicians. We're, a lot of us are moms. A lot of us are maybe not human moms. We might be dog moms. We have other things going on in our life. And so I wanted to create a place that also gave us some great tips for living a healthier life. And also, with the well-being issues that we have as a profession too, I wanted to make sure we had some tools to help us deal with that as well. So we created Vet Candy in 2019, and again, it's all about having a place you can go to for everything you need to make your life better, and including career advice, how to succeed, how to climb the corporate ladder, how to break the ceiling. We highlight amazing people in the profession and tell their story. There's a really great story about a technician named Natalie from Colorado State who invented Brady boots, and we wanted to talk about that. So we talk about that and share her story about her being an inventor. Right now we're talking about, I think on the cover today is a vet student, Natalie Katz from Cornell. And she has a very interesting life. She has been all over the world practically. She moved to Israel and went to college in Israel. I think she even became an Israeli citizen. She met her future husband there, and then she got into vet school and she came back, and she's in the Army. And her passion lies with camels. So she is like obsessed with camels. And just listening to her and learning her story, I'm now subscribing to Camels of Instagram, and you probably will too after this. So we're able to tell these people's stories, and I do it in a way so it gives people inspiration. It helps you, sometimes it's career advice. We're talking about people like Christine Royal. She's at Merck. We talked about her, how she's broken the glass ceiling, and she has career advice for other people that want to do it. We also talked about, there's another one back there, Dr. Aziza Glass. You might have seen her. She was in the reality show about Cornell Vet School a few years ago, and now she's in a Nat Geo Wild show. And she started her own mobile practice, a very successful practice in Houston. So we're able to tell her story, and hopefully that will go back and inspire people to do things, to do things out of the norm. And then back to Vet Candy, another thing, just having the background of, I was a teacher, sort of instructor at Penn Foster. I was an adjunct instructor at University of Illinois, and I used to speak a lot before. When I was at the Poison Control Center, I used to lecture a lot on toxicology. And one thing I noticed is that, the way we learn is different now. Everyone has a very short attention span. You probably already tuned me out by now. But for those of you who are still hanging on, we have very short attention spans. We're used to, even Netflix, they don't have shows that are 30 minutes anymore. They're like 20 minutes. And sometimes at 20 minutes, unless it's like unless there's some really sexy guy on there or something, some crazy thing is happening, or like the dropout where there's this just ridiculous stuff happening. It's hard to keep our attention for longer than 20 minutes. So we take that back to our CE platform, and we create things they're very exciting. And we try to use people that have fresh faces, that are not really people that haven't really had a chance to speak before, because maybe there's somebody else out there that's speaking a lot on that category. So we try to find people that have fresh faces. We try to be very diverse and inclusive. We want to show every type of a type of person, or any type of background or whatever, and specialty. We try to be very diverse in our content, and also in our I call them hosts, but I guess they're the specialists, or the presenters. So we try to be very inclusive with that, and we try to pick topics that are relevant, things that people want to know about. Things like, for instance, we're talking about, like professional development. We have CE programs on parenting, and yes, you need it. If you're a parent, you definitely need it, especially during COVID. We're listening to our subscribers and our audience, and we hear that people are struggling. I'm telling you, I'm struggling today, even though COVID's supposedly over, still struggling here. And I know everyone else is too, trying to balance your life and your family and taking care of kids. So we're very excited about bringing a lot of content on parenting as a topic. Another big topic is relationships. So we've had CE programs that deal with relationships, because that's very important. And it could be a relationship with your family, your love interest. It could be your relationship at work. And we do have a lot of content on toxic teams, which is another hot subject in the veterinary world. So we try to talk about it, and talk about how to recognize it, knowing that you're not the only one that deals with a strange group of people at your work that you don't get along with. You can't get along with everybody. And also we give you tools on how to deal with it, or, if you do need to get out, we also have career advice to help you find your next job. And next time, we'll even give you tips to make sure you don't get in that same situation. So we try to do a variety of topics. And on the medical topics, we try to look at topics that are really hot and interesting. Otitis is really hot. Ears are one of the big popular things. You'll see a lot of people going to events to listen to those topics. Surgery is very popular too. One of the things I found is when we started doing some surgery continuing education programs, we found that a lot of people don't have like surgical confidence, and the support team, they don't have a lot of confidence in supporting that. So we were able to get some really great content on that, and have that out there. And speaking of surgery, in 2021, I can't believe it's 2022, we launched master courses. And master courses are they're more complicated than a regular CE. So there's 8 modules, and the 8 modules cover that topic really, really well. And we choose really great instructors to go through each of the modules with you. So there is one on surgery, there's one on ophthalmology, there's one on respiratory disease, and there's one on toxicology. So you watch these modules to complete the course, and then you take a quiz. Once you pass the quiz, you will receive like a certificate of completion, and then you get this little link to have tools you can celebrate and share your accomplishment with your friends and family. So we have that. We just launched that last year, and we're probably going to be launching a few more of those. We got a lot of really great feedback on it. People really like to have that intense training in one subject matter. And so we do plan on continuing that as well. We take requests, and people will tell us what they want to hear. Once we were doing a surgery course, and we asked people, we said, what do you want? You can have anything in surgery. What would you want to know? And the overall response we got was, mistakes in surgery. And it makes so much sense when you think about it. If we don't have a lot of surgical confidence, then we're worried about making mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes. That's one thing you'll learn in the presentation by Dr. Courtney Campbell, who's fabulous. And he also talks about how not to make those mistakes and how to check yourself, and, and working with your technician as well. So one of the big things is leaving sponges inside of an animal. So he talks about that, and he says, everybody does this. You don't want to do it, but everybody does it. And here's how you work with your team to keep it from happening. So it's a really great course. And with our revenue model on Vet Candy, like everyone's like, well, how do you run Vet Candy? We receive funding from our sponsors, and our sponsors are usually animal health companies, people that make different, sometimes people make like, someone makes surgical material, sponsor the surgery session. So everything we create is free to everybody. There's no charge, there's no membership fee. You can join our newsletter to stay in the loop and get our weekly e-blast, but all of our content is 100% free. It's streamable from any device, from anywhere, 24 hours a day. You could probably go into space station and watch it. So when there's a vendor technician in space, I'm hoping that they watch us. So you can watch it from anywhere. We're also, again, we're all about inclusion, diversity, and things like that. So we make sure when we create something, we put the subtitles into different languages. So we try to hit, my goal is like 12 languages. So we try to make sure it's in all different languages. So people that English is not maybe their first language, or they're not that comfortable with English, or maybe they don't even know English, they can watch our content and they can get educated from it. And so that's one of the things we try to do, is we try to be very, very inclusive to everyone. And what I was going to do is I was going to give you a tour of Vet Candy. And so this will show you a little bit of how we do things. Our CE content is much different than what's out there. We create our CE in a studio, and we film it. And it's makeup, lights, hair, action, and it turns out to be really nice, and it's very engaging. And again, I told you, if you're still listening to me, you have a short attention span. So if you are being educated, you have to have certain things have to change throughout the presentation, or you lose interest. You have to take breaks, or sing, or dance, or show something. So we do that when we create our content. So I am going to try to figure out, I hope I don't screw this up. Let me see. And I'll show you this. You should see my screen. Are we good? Are we good?
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Shannon Gregoire, and welcome to Vet Candy, the destination for everything vet med. Launched in 2019, Vet Candy has grown from a weekly email newsletter into a modern veterinary lifestyle brand and an indispensable resource for the best veterinary education. Let me show you around our website, myvetcandy.com, and show you how to keep up with everything vet med. First, let's check out our homepage. We have some great stories to keep you up to date on the latest clinical updates, scientific news, and expert lifestyle tips. We also celebrate amazing people who are making our world a better place. This is my favorite part. For those of you that are looking for exciting veterinary CE, look no further. We have some great stuff for you, and I promise, no PowerPoints and no webinars, because we do things differently. Maybe that's why we have more than 1 million views. Now let's go to CE On Demand. Here you will find videos that are all race, New York State, and CPD approved for veterinary education credits. Vet Candy is the streaming platform where veterinary professionals can learn from the world's most exciting experts and top influencers. Stream anywhere, anytime, and at your own pace. What I love most is that our videos are studio quality, shot and edited in 4K so you can stream them in 1080p. And best of all, Vet Candy's entire collection of more than 75 continuing education videos can be streamed anywhere, anytime, for free. And you can also select up to 12 different languages to watch them by selecting the language of your choice in the subtitles. So, how do you get your CE credit after watching an eligible video? It's simple. All you need to do is watch the video and then pass the quiz. Click on the Take Quiz button. This is the button below the video that takes you to an online test. When you pass the quiz, you will instantly receive an email with a PDF with your certificate of completion. It really is that easy. Next, we have a variety of Vet Candy original shows, from talk shows to rounds and games. There's something for everyone, and we are committed to bringing in diverse voices and unique perspectives. Let's look at our master courses. We have 4 master courses right now, and more are coming soon. We have ophthalmology, which is taught by veterinary ophthalmologist Dr. DJ Heusler, toxicology, taught by criticalist Dr. Carrie Hemmelgarn, surgery, taught by board-certified veterinary surgeon Dr. Philippa Pavia, and respiratory disease, which is taught by Dr. Anthony Gonzalez. For our master courses, there are 8 modules for each course. Watch each module and then click on the link that says Take Quiz, and it will take you to an online quiz. When you pass the quiz, you will receive your certificate of completion of the course, plus a link to download some tools to help you celebrate and share your accomplishments. You just click on that link and it takes you to the tools. Next, let's look at Vet Candy Magazine. Vet Candy Magazine is a monthly publication for veterinary professionals. From the latest clinical updates to expert advice and so much more. And of course, our cover models are the most incredible and inspiring professionals on the planet. You can check out our magazines here on our website, or you can get them for free on Audible, Kindle, and Apple Books. Next, we have our podcasts. What I love most about our podcasts is that I can listen to them while I'm driving to work, on a jog, or even working out. And we have so many podcasts that you can listen to. Living Well with Dr. Jessica Turner is a show all about wellness and recovery. Her guests span from well-being experts to real-life veterinarians who share their struggles and challenges. Do you like comedy? Then you will love Desk Wench Confessions with comedian turned vet receptionist Caitlin Palmer. One of my favorite parts of her show is when she and her guests read revenge reviews and decipher what truly happened. Oh, and once in a while, Caitlin does break into song and even gets her guests to sing along. Vet Candy Rounds with the Hollies is all about rounds. We take you back to vet school with a mystery case and a special expert host to tell us the story. These shows are fun, and what happens at the end is always a surprise. Vet Candy IRL, hosted by yours truly, as well as Tatiana Rogers, a vet student from Colorado State, and Lexi Rodriguez, a Texas A&M vet student. Vet Candy IRL celebrates inspirational role models and focuses on empowerment and equality, including disruptive leaders who have broken boundaries to get where they are today. Vet Candy Life, hosted by veterinarian Dr. Quincy Hawley and veterinary technician Renee Michelle, is a show that focuses on physical and emotional wellness for veterinary professionals and students. We know that veterinary medicine is a stressful profession, and veterinarians experience a high rate of burnout and compassion fatigue. Each episode of Vet Candy Life features expert tips, lifestyle advice, and real-life experiences from the most exciting veterinary professionals in our industry. Vet Candy books are great resources. We have a selection that are RACE, New York State, and CPD approved for veterinary continuing education on a variety of topics from marketing to CBD. For CE credit, you read the book and then take the quiz. Click on the button that says Take Quiz. Pass the quiz on the online quiz site, and then you will instantly receive an email with your certificate of completion. You can check out our books for free on Audible, Kindle, and Apple Books. New for 2022, we created a page just for students to help them prepare for NAVLE in real life. On this page, you will see a variety of videos, books, and podcasts curated for students to make learning fun. We also have some great advice from Dr. Becky Lossing of Mini Mammoth, who helps make studying easier with time management tips. Vet Candy also created 2 digital books to prepare for the test: Vet Candy Prep, Cat Diseases You Need to Know, and Vet Candy Prep, Dog Diseases You Need to Know, each with a link to a quiz to test your knowledge. Want to stay up to date with everything vet med? Then you definitely want to subscribe to Vet Candy. We keep our tens of thousands of subscribers up to date on product recommendations, special offers, and clinical updates. To subscribe, you just click here and enter your email. So that's it for the tour of Vet Candy. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.
Okay, let me get out of here. So, where's my stop share? Okay. So that's it in a nutshell. The one thing I guess I didn't talk about was podcasts, and our podcasts are amazing. We have 14 podcasts altogether. Half of them are on our sister site, which is Pet Candy for pet lovers. The one, my favorite, she didn't mention it because it's new. It's called Obsessed with the Palmers. And if you are like me and you like weird stories like animal mysteries and like the Mothman and the Bray Road Beast, you'll love this show. It's a couple, they're married, Caitlin Palmer, who is a comedian turned vet receptionist, and she works in a practice down in Mississippi, and her husband, and it's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. They do the funniest shows. Each week they have a mystery topic that they don't reveal to the other spouse, and they do an investigation on it. It's like if X-Files was funny, and they had and like Scully and Mulder had like real chemistry. This is what the show would be like. It's hilarious. So tomorrow, a new episode should come out tomorrow. Last week's episode was like crazy. It was about aliens. So they talked about it. It's just, it's interesting. And again, it's all about, you may be a veterinary technician, you may be an instructor, you may be a veterinarian, but you're not that 24 hours a day. You have a life outside of that. And sometimes it might be making crazy podcasts. It might be somebody like Rhonda Bell who does pickling. So everyone has some kind of interesting background to talk about. And that's what I love about having this opportunity that Candy is sharing that with people. So I guess let's see if we have, I guess if anybody has any questions for me, we can take it. So is that what we do? I don't know.
Yeah, no, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute yourselves, put it in the chat, and we'll read it out.
Anybody from Penn Foster? Hello. Hello from the past. Hello from the past. I can only imagine what happens now, because back then it was really like, it was like, wow, we're teaching class online, I can imagine it's probably like holograms now at Penn Foster. So anyone have a question?
Oh, well, it looks like Shay added some podcasts to her list.
Oh, she did? Oh, okay, good. Shay, Obsessed with the Palmers is hilarious. And Desk Winch is really funny too. And she does break into song. Around Christmas, I called them. We were working with a client and they had to do a Christmas special. And I said, her boss plays guitar. I said, grab Dr. Smith, start singing some carols and tape it. And she did. It's amazing. And it's like the most funniest podcast in the world. And they sang funny songs and then they sang serious songs. She did a parody on Dolly Parton's song and she made it about animals. And if you think she sounds familiar, she is the desk wench. And if you don't know who the desk wench is, you need to look it up. She is the woman who she has that Karen character that has the blonde hair that always asks for the nail clips. And she also came on to the show once asking for ivermectin, and she's like berating Caitlin, who is the desk wench, when the doctor's not there, and then the doctor comes out, and then Karen acts all nice. So if you don't know who she is, definitely look her up. And she actually has 3 podcasts. She has the Desk Wench Confessions, and if anybody wants to be on it, she's always looking for people to come on. And it's all about talking about your worst day and just laughing about it, like laughing about your crazy customers. And she'll even pull reviews out. And the funny thing is she'll pull a review out from a clinic, and she'll read what the person said happened, and then the person tells you what really happened. And then sometimes they'll read random reviews and say, oh, this person, here's what really happened, to this is what we think. So it's a good, instead of getting upset about how ridiculous people are, sometimes it's fun just to laugh about it and laugh about it together, because we all have that same thing happen to us. And if you laugh about it, it's much easier than taking it personally. So that's why I love her show. But she also has a pet owner facing podcast. If anybody wants to be on any of those shows, just let me know. And she talks to different people. Last week, she interviewed Paola Dominguez Lopez, who is a vet tech at the University of Florida. And she's the first vet tech on the board of the Heartworm Society. So they talked about heartworm disease. And so it was a funny show, but you still learned something. So anybody have questions, comments, suggestions? Somebody had told me that in the veterinary technician training world, there's not a lot of large animal information, and we have tons of I think all of our stuff is pretty much small animal or professional development. So we do, we are looking at helping you with that. Somebody specifically told me that there's not a lot of educational content on handling large animals and restraining them. And yesterday, we have a farm and we have a bunch of crazy animals here, and my veterinarian was here. And so I said, would you ever want to do this? And he said he would, but he can't do it now because it's busy season in Connecticut. But when he said it slows down, we'll make a plan and do that. And he also has connections to an exotic place around here too, so we might be able to do some strange animal restraint. And I think there is an elephant in this town, but I'm not sure if he restrains that elephant or what he does with it, but I will definitely look into it, because I know that content is probably really, really hard to find. So anybody else have any suggestions like for content, and if you don't, you can email me. My email is jill@myvetcandy.com. And our website is myvetcandy.com, not vetcandy.com, because someone has that and they have something crazy like candy. I think they sell candy or something, but it's not like a real site. So I'm just like, watch it every day, waiting till it goes on sale, and then I will buy it. But right now it's myvetcandy.com. And if you like to see our pet side of it, it's mypetcandy.com. So we have our social channels too, on Instagram, Facebook. We just joined Pinterest, which I don't understand Pinterest at all, but I have somebody that works with me and she loves it. And I'm starting to get into it. Like, I don't know how I missed out on Pinterest. It's amazing, like the things you can find. Okay. Oh, anatomy models or modules. We have an ophthalmology, our ophthalmology module 1 on the ophthalmology course is all about anatomy. Our respiratory course, I told this guy that we should have an anatomy course by itself in one module, but he asked us to spread it around. So there is anatomy in the respiratory disease master course, but it's spread through like 3 or 4 of the modules. You get a little bit of anatomy in each one. We are working on doing some 3D models of different things where I'm actually right now earlier today, I was working on, we have an eye, we're trying to make it move around. So we're working on that, and we're going to be doing some common things. So if there's certain organs you really want to have that 3D look, just let me know and we'll get it created. We worked with DJ Heusler on the ophthalmology segment, and he owns his own practice, and he has like an amazing camera. So if you watch that course, there's so many just disgusting images, but everything you've even heard about, he has images of it. Like there's something called a Bombay or something. It's some kind of iris Bombay or something. Oh my God. I hope it never happens to me. But he has like every image you can imagine. And with ophthalmology, you got to see those images. So even though he covers anatomy in the first module, each of the modules is on different parts of the eye. Like the cornea, the lid, the lens. So he even goes more into the anatomy a little bit as he goes through each one, and he shows some horrific images. With the surgery one, it's more about like building your confidence up and common mistakes and common surgeries. So it's a really good, it would be really great for technicians, I think, to watch that. And let me think what else. The respiratory disease one is awesome. We worked with Anthony Gonzalez, who is from Cornell Veterinary Specialist. He's a criticalist, and also Alyssa Mages. She taught part of the program too. So there's a technician form or version, and then there's a vet version, and they just differ at the last 2 modules. And so Alyssa does the educating pet owners about how to use different types of products, or how to medicate the animal and what to watch for, because we really thought it was, in real life, that's who's going to be doing it. That's the technician's role, is going to be really educating that pet owner how to use things. So she does an amazing job, if you can imagine. So you got to watch that. And then she also does a surgery prep video for us too, which was great. And she's talking about the veterinary technician's role in surgery and what they need to do and how they do it. And explains why, because it's nice to know like why you do it this way. There's things I've never known, and I watched them like, oh my God, if someone just told me that that's why you fold it that way, then maybe I would have folded it right back in the day. But they didn't. So thank God for Alyssa. And any other questions? You guys are so shy. So I'm going to just put my email in here. So if you guys do have any questions and you're too shy to talk or type here, then let me know. Yes, someone asked, can you show those videos? Please, Jesus, show the videos. We want everyone to watch them. The more people that watch them, the better. That's how we roll. Like that's the more popular our videos are, is more power for Vet Candy. So you guys watching them would be the best thing on earth. And you can stream them from anywhere. You can go to our website and stream them. You can go to YouTube. So if you have a smart TV, because sometimes in my office I have a smart TV, I will watch my videos on a big screen, and the quality is so good because it's 1080p. It's really clear and you can see it really well, and it's just like watching it on YouTube on your TV or on your computer. So yeah, and you can watch anything and stream them. You can share them. If like students don't need race credit, but you could look at the quiz and you could use the quiz as something that they could take after they watch something too. And you could look at how they do on the test too. So, so everything is for you guys to consume. And I even have to, recommend we do have 3 textbooks on the master courses that are great. So we have we don't have a surgery one. We have a surgery book. We do have an ebook on surgery. We have a toxicology book. We have a ophthalmology book, which is graphic again, and a respiratory book. And then we also have some other guides too. We have CBD, osteoarthritis, surgery. We have so many. And then not only that, we have like the soft topics, the professional development, the personal development. So we have something on eating healthy, which I think everybody should read, especially women in our profession. We're all perfectionists. We're all very competitive. And I think a lot of us don't eat we don't eat healthy. We starve ourselves to work harder at work, and then we get so hungry, just eat a bunch of candy. So it's really good to watch those shows or listen to the videos or listen to a podcast or video on that topic, because it's really important. You got to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your pets. So oh, Amy, because I am you guys. We're all the same. We're all the same. We have the same personality. Being in this profession, we all have that. So, so definitely check that out. And not only that, like something I would recommend is we have Jessica Turner is amazing. And if you're not her friend on Facebook, you should become friends with her. She does this Beachbody thing too. She's like a virtual Facebook gym. And she's like inspired me so much to eat healthy. She is a veterinarian, but she left the profession because she couldn't handle this. It was just too much for her. It was just the mental wellness. She didn't have a good like work-life balance. She wasn't really happy in her job. So she became a personal trainer. And now she has like one of our most popular podcasts, which is not funny. If you like things that are funny, you might not like it because it's very serious. But she has some amazing guests on her show, and she's had nutritionists on the show. She's had people with eating disorders on the show. And we also take her shows and we create them into an ebook, and we put a lot of content in there. And she has two. She has one was holidays for Christmas, and it talked about, eating healthier, trying to have an alcohol-free holiday, which is always good, ways to take care of yourself. And it usually has some parenting tips in there too. And the one she had before that was just the best of living well with Dr. Jessica. And she had some really great interviews, and that's actually race approved too. So you can listen to it and read it and then get your CE credits. And it has a lot of great things. She loves to read inspirational books, and she has lists of books that she likes for the holiday issue. She stopped drinking. So she's pregnant now. So she doubly had to stop drinking, and for her health and also for the baby's health. And she compiled a list of non-alcoholic drinks that actually taste good, which is probably the number one reason to read the book. It's that good. So you can actually, if you like the taste of alcohol and you want to stop drinking it to be healthier, you can still enjoy the taste, but not have to worry about the alcohol effects. So I love her books, and I love her podcast is great. So, and sometimes it's nice not to just laugh all the time. It's nice to have serious conversations. And she's had some amazing people, and they're not all in the veterinary world. She had someone who was a PA who came on the show and talked about her battle with alcoholism and how she overcame it. And it was such an inspirational show. And she's had a lot of really amazing people on. She's had people come on talking about postpartum depression and depression in general. So it's definitely a must listen to for sure. So anybody else? So and like I said, I would definitely sign up for our weekly e-blast. If you go onto the site, a pop-up thing should pop up, or you can go in the bottom and it says, if you want more candy, sign up. So you want to sign up for that. And it comes out usually on Tuesdays, and it has like, oh, you got it this morning. Yeah. So you get the latest, information, and you keep up to date with the most recent thing. Last week, we released a story about, there was a peer-reviewed published article about vegan food and dogs. And oh my God, I heard about it from every which way but loose. We're going crazy about it. But I'm like, it's peer reviewed. I can't help it. If you don't like it, I can't help it. It's peer reviewed. Go talk to whoever's in charge of peer reviewing, because it's not me. I just, don't kill the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So we do put things out that are controversial, but we do make sure that they are, when we are talking about science or medicine, we make sure we use something that's peer reviewed. And that one was really well read, and I'm sure everybody even read the full article after reading our little brief article on it. But it's very controversial. So I suggest everyone look into that. So does anybody else have any other questions, or are we good?
I think we might be good. There's a lot of information and a lot of materials that they have to digest.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I think that they could be really great supplemental materials in classes and just very helpful. And I'm going to share it with my sister, which I told you before. I believe a lot of this would help her. So
she's good.
So
yeah, there's something for everyone. There's something for everyone there. And there's not only just educating, but just even for yourself. I mean, there's some really fun reads on there. There's something today is about secrets to having a healthy relationship. There's like an article by a life coach who was talking about how to deal with imposter syndrome. So we talk about everything. We talk about every topic that you can imagine. Everything you can imagine, we talk about it, in addition to the medicine stuff. And if you guys you have my email. So if you guys have any questions, or you have something you want us to do, we're open. We're always looking for what's needed. And if you don't tell me, I don't know, and I don't make it. But if you tell me, I'll make it, I swear, unless it's something crazy that I can't make. But I will try. I will definitely try. And so thank you, Jess, for putting this together. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone.
Thank you for sharing this tool.
Yeah.
Like Amy said, it is a great tool. And just making everyone more aware. This is going to get posted on the website. Everyone's going to see it. That candy's going to spread.
Oh, good.
It's going to be fantastic. But I want to thank you specifically for doing this, and also all of our attendees for joining us tonight. Now, who wants to go eat dinner?
Me. I'm sorry.
No, but thanks everyone, and keep an eye out for more events coming up soon. All right, have a good night.